Broadcom AVGO Beginner's Guide. Hey, welcome to Investing ABC. Today we are looking at Broadcom, ticker AVGO, a company that has quietly become one of the most important picks and shovels suppliers to the AI boom. If NVIDIA is the household name everyone talks about, Broadcom is sitting one row behind it, designing the custom chips and switches the biggest AI companies cannot run their data centers without. Educational walkthrough, not investment advice. So, what does Broadcom actually do? Broadcom is really two companies stitched together. The first half is semiconductors, physical chips, and the second half is enterprise software. In their most recent full year, total revenue was about $77 billion, and it splits roughly down the middle between those two halves. On the chip side, the biggest piece is AI semiconductors, which brought in about $24 billion, around 31% of the company. These are custom AI accelerators, which Broadcom calls XPUs. Think of an XPU as a specialized chip a customer designs just for itself to train and run AI models. Google's TPU, which stands for Tensor Processing Unit, is the most famous example, and Broadcom is the partner that turns Google's design into working silicon. Meta has a similar custom chip called MDA, and Broadcom recently added OpenAI as a customer. In total, they have 6 hyperscale customers, the giant cloud companies like Google and Meta, each ordering tens of thousands of custom chips per AI training cluster. Next is AI networking, roughly $12 billion or 16% of revenue. When you build an AI data center, you do not just need chips that do the math, you need a way to wire tens of thousands of those chips together so they can talk to each other at extreme speed. That is what Broadcom's Tomahawk switches and Jericho routers do. Tomahawk is basically the traffic cop chip inside the network switches that move data between AI accelerators. They also make 200G SerDes, the underlying technology that lets data move at 200 gigabits per second between chips. Then there is the non-AI semiconductors bucket, about $16 billion or 21% of revenue, broadband chips for your home internet box, wireless chips that go into Apple iPhones, and storage chips for servers. The other half of Broadcom is infrastructure software at about $25 billion, or 32% of revenue. This is mostly VMware, which Broadcom bought in late 2023 for $69 billion. VMware makes the software that lets one physical server pretend to be many servers, a technology called virtualization, and almost every big enterprise IT department on Earth runs on it. The flagship product is VMware Cloud Foundation, or VCF, the full bundle most large companies subscribe to. So, who does Broadcom compete with, and how does it win? Broadcom's moat, the competitive advantage that keeps other companies from catching up, is rated wide, and there are 3 big reasons for that. First, on custom AI chips, Broadcom co-designs the silicon with each hyperscaler. Their engineers sit alongside Google's or Meta's engineers for years, baking the customer's specific software and workloads into the chip. Once that work is done, switching to a different chip designer is brutal. The customer would have to rewrite huge chunks of their software stack and requalify everything, which takes years. Each generation locks the customer in for another 3 to 5 years. Their main competitor here is Marvell, which plays the same custom chip game on a smaller scale, and NVIDIA, which takes a different approach. NVIDIA offers one general-purpose AI chip to everyone, while Broadcom builds a unique chip just for you. Second, on AI networking, Tomahawk has become the de facto standard for AI data center switching. As more AI clusters get built on Tomahawk, the ecosystem around it, software tools, integration scripts, training playbooks, gets richer, which makes the next AI cluster more likely to also pick Tomahawk. That is a classic network effect. The product gets more valuable the more people use it. Their networking competitors are Cisco, Marvell, and NVIDIA's own Spectrum switch line. Third, VMware has roughly 70% market share in enterprise virtualization. The customers are big banks, big retailers, big airlines, companies that have spent 2 decades configuring VMware to run their most critical applications. Ripping that out and moving to Nutanix, Microsoft Hyper-V, or Red Hat is a multi-year, multi-million-dollar project almost no one wants to do, so most enterprises just renew. Broadcom has been pushing customers onto the VCF subscription bundle, which means more predictable, recurring revenue. What are the key drivers for the business over the past 5 years? Three forces drove Broadcom from a steady chip company into a giant over the past 5 years. Number one is the custom AI XPU franchise. 5 years ago, this barely existed, maybe a few $100 million tied to Google. Today, it is about $24 billion, with 6 hyperscale customers committed to multi-year roadmaps. Every time one of those customers wants to train a bigger AI model, they need a new generation of custom silicon, and Broadcom is the partner that delivers it. This is the single biggest growth engine in the company. Number two is AI networking share gains. As AI training clusters got bigger, tens of thousands of chips wired together, the demand for ultra-high bandwidth switching exploded, and Tomahawk Silicon plus 200G SerDes captured that demand. AI networking is now accelerating to roughly 40% of all AI-related revenue. The newest generation, Tomahawk 7, extends their lead in the very high end of the market. Number three is the VMware deal. When Broadcom closed the $69 billion acquisition in November 2023, it added an entirely new revenue stream, enterprise software at roughly 93% gross margins. That means for every dollar of VMware revenue, about 93 cents drops through as gross profit before operating expenses. Combined with the cyclical chip business, VMware gives Broadcom a much smoother, more predictable profit base, a dual-engine business, AI semiconductors on one side, infrastructure software on the other. To wrap up, so that is the whole story in one sentence, Broadcom is a dual-engine company that designs custom AI chips and networking silicon for the biggest cloud companies on one side, and operates the dominant enterprise virtualization software platform, VMware, on the other. As a learner, the things to watch are pretty clear. How many hyperscale customers Broadcom adds to its custom XPU roster beyond the current 6, how fast Tomahawk extends its lead as AI clusters keep getting bigger, and how successfully VMware migrates its enterprise base onto the VCF subscription bundle. None of this is investment advice. Do your own homework.